0 hour strikes, the clock ticks down. Rise from the ashes, wear your crown. No fear, no chains. Break the mold, forge your destiny. Fierce and bold.
Good Lord, look at that. It all actually worked.
Yes. I
There
love
we
it. I love it when a plan comes together.
Welcome, everybody, to another podcast of 0 Hour, where I am joined by some extra people today. So, first over, we've got Half-Ass Ready, followed by The Dead Prepper. Formerly, you guys know who he is. Below me, we've got V from Show Intel, and as always, we have Nick Easy. So we'll go around the room and we'll say hello to everybody. So Half, you're first.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for turning in. I'm Mark, and I'm half-ass ready. And we're going to get Thor to shut up before the end of this thing.
Yeah, that's the wolves in the graveyard. If I can get them to be quiet, we'll be okay. Yeah.
On you, Scully.
How you doing, guys? I'm the Dead Prepper, formerly OVP, but mistakes were made, and well, I didn't make it.
Love it. V, you're up.
I'm V with Show and Tell, and I'm just here to conversate and have fun. I'm nervous.
Don't be nervous.
Nothing to be nervous. Nick, you're up, buddy.
What's up? How's it going, guys? Thanks for coming. Thanks for checking the show out. I'm Nick Easy, and I'm V's 2IC.
There you go. There you go. Perfection. All right, we're going to hope with the new streaming service that nothing glitches. If I disappear, you guys just keep going. I'm going to work in the background. But as you guys can see from the little scrolly banner down there, if you have questions or topics or anything you want to discuss, drop it in the chat, because the fun part is I can now do that. I have chat back. So hopefully this one will be a fun, interesting one. And we'll end up seeing how all this goes. Do you guys see a fun question in the chat yet as I scroll through here?
Well, I'm still trying to figure out how to see the chat, boo.
Oh, you can't see.
Saying hi to people.
Yes. Chat is definitely going through. Oh, there you go. Can we call you ODP?
Sure, whatever.
I'm calling him Scully, LMDMT.
That's right. We'll figure out something to call him. Let's see.
Just don't call him the DP.
I don't know. It's going to be.
I don't have live streams anymore. I have dead streams.
There you go.
Oh, that's actually a good one.
Yeah.
Actually, that was Mad Chad's idea.
Welcome to the dead stream.
I can't take credit for it.
It's very clever. I like it.
And there's a good one we can kind of start off with. So, breathing a sigh of relief in South Carolina as the hurricane. Hope it holds off. We can all kind of discuss hurricanes a little bit, but Half Ready, man, what's it like down there?
Well, let me tell you. I'm just going to tell you. This weekend, 1 year ago, Saturday, only it was a Friday a year ago, but 1 year ago Saturday, Helene blew us up. And so it was pretty awesome weekend. I went to a car show that last year. It's a big car show for a local church. It's a pretty big church. And they used a car show to finance their mission trips all year. And the hurricane hit on Friday last year. Saturday was the car show. Of course, it was canceled. Usually it's about 100 cars. Saturday was about 35 cars. But just the fact that we were there, and just about every community in Buncombe and Henderson County that was represented, and we talked, and we didn't relive. We reflected, and we prepared to move forward. It was it's been a tough weekend, but man, I'm telling you, man, this community that I live in, these people here in these mountains, they're extremely resilient, and yeah, man, it tickled us. Of course, Ingles, our local grocery store chain, was covered up on Thursday and Friday because they were talking about this hurricane might actually make landfall. So of course, people are still freaking out, right? It's very, very sketchy. I mean, there are people here who have PTSD when the wind blows here, or we get a thunder and lightning storm. That 2 years ago, nobody would even believe that, right? Now, people start freaking out, and so it's definitely different, but we're healing, man, and glad to see this thing moving out the ocean. It's really good.
Good deal. Good deal. V, how's the weather out there where you are?
We just had some storms the past 2 days, really bad storms. We had a lot of flooding too. You know, in our little creek areas and stuff further out of the valley. But in Phoenix, they got hit really hard.
Yeah.
We got hit hard out here, but our drainage system is pretty up to date. And, you know, we didn't really have any major flooding out here. So, but people don't know how to not drive over the rushing water. It's like it's like they do it on purpose. People were getting rescued and everything.
That's because they're stupid.
Yes.
Yeah. They underestimate how powerful water can be, you know?
Very much so. Nick, how's the weather up where you are, buddy?
Well, it's nice today. It's beautiful today, but we had a lot of rain. We had a lot of rain up here. Ohio, northern Ohio. Yeah, we had a lot of rain this week.
And that's up there where semi close to you, Mr. Dead Prepper. How's weather up there?
Oh, like Nick said, it was pretty nice today. But yeah, it rained. Was it Tuesday and Thursday? It rained all day, or Monday and Wednesday. I don't know. We hadn't had rain here since springtime, pretty much. So we definitely needed it. But it rained quite a bit. But yeah, it's actually pretty warm for this time of year, you know, and this time of day right now.
Excellent. Yeah, we're in that kind of a change and everything. Which while we wait for questions and topics in the chat, that brings up weather preparedness. So V, you are you're west of every single one of us. How is weather preparedness out there for you different from us?
Well, we don't really have much weather out here. So I would say the only thing people probably prepare for is like extreme heat. And we have a good electrical grid out here. We have not really had any kind of like power surges or anything like that. But when I was younger, we used to lose our power all the time. But, you know, a lot of people out here, I think, just prepare for the heat. And the heat can be pretty bad. A lot of people out here die because of the heat.
Man, that's something right there. Dead Prepper, you up there in northern Ohio-ish area. What's the severe weather like up there that people should get ready for?
Well, right now I'd say get ready for winter because it's coming, and you know there's forecasts saying it's supposed to be pretty bad, but I've seen other forecasts that we're right on the border between bad and not so bad. But you know, it's been quite a long time since we've had a big snowstorm, so I'd say we're due. And so, you know, get your backup heat and things like that ready. Make sure you got, you know, some food in the house in case you get snowed in for a few days. And so that's what I'm concentrating on, just kind of getting ready for winter, getting, you know, everything sealed up so stays warm in the house and things like that.
Excellent. Nick, do you agree since you're up in that area?
Yeah. I mean, it's like he said, there's like borderline where we might have a bad winter. Again, it really just depends how the wind blows, because lake effect, all that fun stuff. So
Yeah, see, I don't get the lake effect. I'm a little too far south for that.
I'm a little
barely.
closer to the lake than you. So
Yeah, just barely. It's got to be a pretty strong wind for it to get down this far, but it happens every now and then.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, straight south, straight south across the lake.
All right. So while we're waiting for any questions or comments, if you guys see that any that I missed, just shout them out at me. But let's talk about the elephant in the room of what happened today in Michigan. Half Ready, what's your thoughts, bud?
Well, Murman and Press and I have been talking about church security quite a bit. We put out a few videos about it, and the more information that comes out, the more I'm understanding this man. But when we were doing security checks on a church, there were things this fella done that took me by surprise. And so my immediate thought was that the bad guys are adapting and I'm reacting. And that's not a good place to be. So it's tragic that we have to think about this, but this just reiterates the fact that we need to think about this and, get more and more information on this man. It's helpful to your planning. I don't know that this guy's a political wacko. I mean, he's a former Marine, done 2 tours in Afghanistan, 40-year-old man. I mean, this may just be another brother of mine who slipped through the mental health cracks, I mean, the only way to really get around this is with prevention. And toning down the political rhetoric will help on one end of it, but the folks who are having mental problems, we've got to do more for those folks. But again, look forward to more content from me and Merriman and Press about this, because we're having to rethink a lot of things.
I agree on that. V, what's your thoughts on today's events?
I think it's very sad. I'm not sure I am the whole mental health issue, but I don't understand what can drive a person to do something like that. We have a lot of churches around me in my area, and matter of fact, they're pretty much all Mormon churches. I mean, anything with any kind of incident like this, I don't understand how someone could get to that point where they are able to do something like that. I heard that he had LMDMT was listening to the ATC, not the ATC, but the radio, the police scanner this morning, and she heard a lot of information being put out there on the scanner. And I mean, he was ready to end people's lives. So, and not, I mean, it was pretty bad. So,
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Dead Prepper, what's your thoughts?
Well, we talked about this with Chance for a while there, about a month ago, and then Mark has put out a pretty good series on church security and things like that. I actually sent it to my preacher, and this is something you got to be aware of nowadays, because if you're a Christian or that, they're coming after you. I mean, it's just a cold hard truth. You don't want to think about it like that, but that's what's coming down to. So, you need to have a conversation with your pastor, your elders, or whoever, and make sure they got a plan in place to make sure everybody's safe.
Yeah. Yeah, you almost have to. Nick, what do you think, bud?
I mean, I think what a lot of people think is it's mental health. A lot of people, mental health and just being manipulated by government or by propaganda, because there's a lot of propaganda that's spread in the country. And then also for the mental health, and also so going back to the Great Depression, like we're not in a good place right now. A lot of people are not in good places, and they're finding different ways. And back in the Great Depression, a lot of people did. A lot of people just killed themselves. And now people are doing it for reasons, I think, or, like their causes. We just got a lot to do with that. People are like, there's a big step up in people going crazy and doing these violent crimes, and I think it has
So
to do with a lot of like the economy
with
that
this
people don't have.
with
Go
this
ahead, V.
incident though, he drove his car through the church. Like his I mean, that's what he did. That was the first thing he did. So, like, I don't know how anyone could themselves against something like that.
Yeah, you got a point
You
with
know,
that.
he just drove straight. He was crazy, but he just drove his car right into the church, and he had explosives in his vehicle, and you know, he had every intention to blow that whole place up, and he pretty much did.
Yep.
Marines
So
are good
he
at
had
breaking
mental issues,
shit.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Very
what
much.
they train Marines
Yeah.
to do, break shit. And
Yeah.
they're good at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, he was definitely ready to do some damage.
Yes. Yes.
But there are ways to mitigate those dangers. There are ways. I don't know that stopping it with the resources that you have, but you know, the Marines and the Army have faced those challenges in the sandbox over there for 20 years now, and they have things in place that mitigate those damage that can be done by a vehicular attack. But
Yeah, true.
again, it does require resources that churches and schools may not have. And so, but if you apply the brain power of the folks inside your church and on your security team, you can and will come up with maybe not a perfect solution, but you will come up with a shooting solution.
Mm-hmm.
And but again, it's just exactly what I just told Shawnee in the chat. Shawnee's having issues, and they've had things in her neighborhood, and they're talking about it at their church. But it's important. Yes, that's exactly right. But it's important that when you have these conversations, and I don't want to stay on my soapbox long because I know we got other things to talk about. But when you have these conversations, you have to be honest, you have to be real, and you have to look at worst case scenario to come up with proper solutions to these problems. So when you have these meetings, yeah, I agree with that too. But when you have these meetings, you don't sugarcoat anything. Jerk those band-aids off. You just have to be brutally honest about it, or you're going to not be prepared for what happens. So, and I'll try to be quiet now.
It's all right. We'll move to this one here that Nomad had. The panel towards presidential, the Oval Office, the White House, giving authority for full extent, unleashing everything on the military that he's sending. You're going to Washington, right?
Yeah, Portland and of course Memphis.
Memphis, Chicago, possibly Baltimore, Boston.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's pretty much, he's probably gonna send them to every, whether it's a red state or not. If it is ran by, this is my thinking, if it's ran by a Democratic governor, or a mayor, and there's been problems, he's going to send them into that state. So he already said, whether it's a blue state or a red state, if they have problems and they're not asking for help, I'm just sending them in. So, and I don't know, I have a lot of thoughts about that situation. So,
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of thought. And to that, Nick, what's your thought?
I gotta wait for it to happen. I guess I gotta wait. Because there's a lot of things like I don't know. I don't know yet.
Yeah,
I
get it.
I don't have an opinion on it really until it happens. I don't know because it can go extreme one way or extreme the other way.
Yes, it can very easily, very easily. Dead Prepper, what's your thoughts?
Well, I got mixed feelings about this. I mean, yeah, it's probably going to end up being a dumpster fire, but he's sending them to Portland. Portland's already been a dumpster fire. But I don't know. I'm kind of thinking if the Democratic governors want their cities to fall apart, then let them. I mean, the people are wise up, move out. So I don't know if it's a good idea or not. I'm kind of torn. Like I just kind of can't. I mean, I understand the point of it is to clean up, the crime and the anarchy that's going on in these places, but it's just it is gonna cause a problem, I think, down the road. Something's gonna fire off and it's gonna get ugly.
Yeah. Freddy, what's your opinion, bud?
Well, I'm not convinced it's constitutional at all. Look, I agree 100%. We need to go clean these cities up. They're just too important to our economy and the way our nation moves to just let go all to pieces. But I'm not sure this is constitutional. And I realize that the red side is saying, "Oh yeah, we got this insurrection act. We're good to go, right?" And the blue guys are saying that Trump's a fascist and all that. Well, Congress has no balls because we've let the president of the United States for 25 or 30 years now with these executive orders become kings. We have allowed it. Congress has allowed it. They have not taken that power usurpation away from any president, no matter which side of the aisle he's from. Not convinced at all that this is constitutional. I say let them shut down the damn government and get back to basics, and maybe the people in this country would kind of understand that the president don't run the country by himself. Congress has a leg of this stool, this three-legged stool we sit on, and they're just not exercising their leg. Mm-hmm. But I'm not sure this is constitutional. If I had to say yes or no right now, I disagree. But I do agree these cities deserve to be saved. There are people in these cities who deserve to be saved. They deserve to live a life of peace and tranquility and be able to have the pursuit of happiness. And they can't do it because they can't leave their own damn house. So I agree that I like what he's doing. I just don't think he can do it.
Yeah.
See, Trump will declare a national emergency. I don't know when, but I have a feeling he is going to announce that very soon. And once he does that, he can deploy the National Guard to these cities for more than 30 days.
Yes, he can.
And so, all goes back to that Project 2025. I don't know if you guys have read into that or anything, but I have it downloaded and I shared it on my Discord. But I mean, everything that I read in that PDF is coming true right now. So
yeah, I agree with you, but I still don't believe it's constitutional.
I don't think so. I
just don't think it is.
Yeah.
He's almost going to have to declare martial law to get away with it.
Yeah.
Well, that's basically what that does. When he
Yeah,
says
you're right.
Basically,
it's
yeah.
basically a declaration of martial law.
Hmm.
That's I mean, it's pretty much martial law when you're sending them people in. It's kind of martial law.
Yeah, it is kind of. It's just without the actual declaration, but yeah.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Well, here brings up a really good one that we can do. This should be a fairly quick one that we can go through. So, Granny was talking to the husband about doing some open carry or some conceal carry. So, we'll just do a quick one right around, and we'll start with half ready. Should somebody carry with them?
You look. You should carry every day. I try to be a 100%er. Yes, you should carry all the time. Now, the difference in open carry and concealed carry, most of y'all have already heard my opinion on it, but I will reiterate. Um, I think open carry is a bad idea. I think you should do what you have to do to get your concealed carry because you have made yourself a target. If I go to rob the liquor store and I walk in and you're buying your bourbon and I see you're open carrying, guess what? Guess who I'm shooting first? I'm going to shoot you, and then I'm going to have a gun for each hand, right? So I just don't agree with open carry. And even in open carry states, and here's something everybody who's so excited about open carry needs to understand. If you walk in a store and one person inside that store decides that you are causing them to have fear because they see your firearm, you have just caused a public panic, and you will be asked to take your gun to the car with your ass attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. I'm done. That's a quick one for me.
All right. Dead Prepper, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I kind of agree with Mark. Yeah, there's no use making yourself a target. But should you carry? These days, yeah, all the time. I mean, I don't even have it very far from myself when I'm in the house, and I'm in a small town. So, that should tell you something right there. These small towns aren't safe like they used to be. When I was young growing up here, nobody even locked their door. Now you lock your door, you lock your windows, even when you're in the house, let alone if you go anywhere. So yeah, you should definitely carry at all times. Yeah.
Excellent. Nick, you're up.
Yeah, I think you should carry, especially the new laws in Ohio. Obviously, it varies in different states, but I think open carry does it makes you a target. So if you can conceal carry, please do that, because they're being a tough guy bully. Well, here's what's in my pocket.
Yep. Very much. V, you've got the last word on that one.
So I think it would be best to conceal carry it. Now, I don't carry, but if I were to, I wouldn't want people to know that I'm carrying. At the same time, I don't know. Yeah, I would have to say conceal it for sure, because you don't want to be a target. So,
Yep.
but you want to be able to defend yourself at the same time.
I do agree with what Tuck said in the chat. If you normalize open carry, if everybody's doing it, then it's a different story.
Yeah.
But right now, yeah, there's not. You don't see too many people doing it. So.
Well, and I'll throw my 2 cents in. I think that you could do either or. If open carry makes you feel more comfortable, that's on you. If conceal makes you feel more comfortable, in the Wild West, they all just carried on their hip, and guess what? Most people behaved. So it is what it is. But right down to brass tacks, if you have the power, yes, you should carry something, whether it's concealed or not. So next question. This one's going to be an interesting one. So Rip Curl goes through and says basically on all of the different things that's going through on anger, depression, the hopelessness, the mental illness, and all the things that's going on. What factors, or what do you think the biggest factor is right now that seems to be causing all this chaos? And we'll start with let's pick on Nick. Nick, you're first.
You want to pick on me? What is starting people's behavior, like going and shooting up churches and stuff?
But with everything.
Yeah. Okay. So I would say probably, I think a lot of people are brainwashed through their phones. everything's pre-programmed, and they're programmed to get to you. And then like so politically, you're clicking on these things, and then you're following these things, and you are somehow it's brainwashing you, and we're being brainwashed by our phones, by technology. Like we don't live a simple life anymore. We're all connected to our phones, we're connected to the computer, and you and then people take things too personally. And once you take it too personally, you start acting drastically.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let's go half ready. Half ready, you're next.
Well, look, we've taken away the consequences for bad behavior or good behavior too, for that matter. We've taken away consequences, and we've turned our entire nation into a bunch of snowflakes. So what happens is when you go on the interweb and you get picked on, you get pissed off, or you get your feelings hurt, and it turns to anger. And we don't bother to teach in our communities anymore, not just our schools, even in our community. We don't bother to teach anymore how to communicate these problems with each other. And it continues inside to fester. And folks who have a mental problem, or folks who aren't as intelligent as other people, this turns into some sort of action. They have to let it out. And yes, it's a mental health issue, but we need to, as a community, learn how to be a community again. We need to start helping one another and talking to one another and quit hiding behind the screens. The internet's a wonderful tool. It's a wonderful tool. It has made us the most powerful nation in the world. It has brought things to our society that we never dreamed we would have. But there's a consequence to that, and that is the loneliness that folks have. And they're missing out on God and community, and they have nowhere to not be lonely anymore. And it's making some people very angry and very confused, and they're lashing out.
Yep, I agree. I
agree.
I kind of think, I mean, it just seems like nobody can think for themselves. I mean, I don't
No,
really
they gotta Google it.
I mean, if you look at, the one news agency, and I'm not even going to give them credit, but the lady come out, it was a few weeks ago, and said, oh, well, we can get rid of this. We can fix this homeless problem. We just need to go out and eliminate all the homeless people. And like within 24 hours, 3 people went out and shot up a homeless camp. Like they just watched the news and went, oh, well, okay. I mean, I don't know I can't figure out what's the matter with everybody these days. I don't know what's going on. Is it mental illness? Is it something in the food? That they've been eating mushrooms out in the woods? I don't know what's going on. But man, I mean, it's basically, we live in an insane asylum, and we're locked in here with the crazies. So, that goes back to the carrying at all times thing, and that, because you just never know who's going to, lose their mind in the grocery store or at the gas station or anywhere else you're at these days.
Yeah, very much. V, what's your thought?
Well, so like the incident that happened today, we don't know for sure whether or not, maybe something happened with this guy today with this church. Maybe he tried to ask for help and they turned him away because he wasn't part of their church. Some people don't, I'm not going to say like some people don't know that life is precious, I guess you could say. I really don't know. I just think a lot of people are just really hopeless right now. And I think it just depends on the person's situation and whether or not they know how to deal with that hopelessness. whether it be talk with someone, talk with a friend. You know, maybe this guy needed someone to talk to, and there was just no one available to talk to that could understand what he was going through. You know, and so it's a sad thing because no one is willing to just listen to people and just open an ear and listen to what they have to say. Maybe they're not looking for a solution. Maybe they just need someone to vent to and listen to them and have a shoulder for them to lean on, you know? So,
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
I like that one.
Yeah, that's a
I
good
do
one
like
right
that.
there.
I like that one.
There's a lot of people I think out there that they have something going on in their life and they don't have somebody that they can lean on, a shoulder to cry on, somebody to vent to, and a lot of times through social media and everything else, they just get basically turned towards violence. So
yeah.
yeah, yeah, I can see it. But while we're on this topic, let's put this one here from LMDMT. Will it get worse before it gets better? That's a very, very interesting one. And Dead Prepper, let's start with you.
Unfortunately, I think so. It just seems like it gets a little worse every day. I mean, you watch the news and it's something every day. Yeah, I unfortunately think it's going to get worse. That's, you know, obviously not what I'm hoping for, but yeah, I think you should have your head on a swivel. You can't even enjoy yourself when you're out in public anymore. You got to be aware, like every second you're out there, you got to have your head on a swivel and keeping an eye on things. But yeah, I do think it's going to get worse before it gets better. If it even gets better, I don't know what's going on. But
Yeah. Let's go with V. V, what do you think?
I agree. I think it's going to get worse. Definitely. I don't even like taking my son to school. I don't like my niece going to school. I don't like my sister. I don't like anybody to leave the house because I feel like, and I don't want to say it because I don't want to jinx it. So I feel like you can't do anything, and I know that that's the point of what these people are doing is that they're doing all this stuff to scare us to stay home and to not like they want to have a control over us. And so it's hard to not let them have that control over us because you don't want to die because you're going to the state fair or because you're going to Walmart or because you're just going to school. So, I mean, you know, I feel like it's going to get worse and it's sad. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I will. I'll agree with that. Half ready?
Oh, it's definitely going to get worse because of exactly what V's fear is. We're going to pull back in. We're going to do less community stuff. We're going to let our fear turn us into hermits, social hermits. And when we go on this thing to let our feelings out, yeah, it feels good to type it and then send it out to the world. But when what comes back isn't what you want to hear, it compounds the frustration. Um, no, I'm afraid it's going to get worse, but it will get better one day, man. When people come back to community and God and family. I mean, we have people who isolate themselves even from their own family, you know, uh, because they disagree. Uh, and you know, it's sad. It's very sad. And some people just aren't equipped to be alone. They're just not equipped to be alone. And it's just I think it's going to get worse. And I hate to say that, I really do, because I try to be an optimistic person, and I really believe in the greatness of the United States, and I really believe in the greatness of God. And I know I've seen it act in my life and helped me become the man that I am. But wow, the social interactions have changed so much since I was a child. It's scary.
Yeah, it's definitely becoming scary. Nick, what do you think?
I got to agree with everybody because I don't think we're at the point where the things are going to start turning around yet. Like we haven't got to that line yet where these church killings and shootings and all that's not going to stop yet. Like we're still at the cusp of it, and like we're gonna get better, but I still think things are gonna get worse. Things are gonna get worse because they're talking National Guard, all that stuff going into the cities. We're gonna get worse, but I mean, hopefully it's for a better cause. Like we're gonna get better, but I still think we're going through growing pains, and that's just what it is. A lot of technology, everything. It's just we're transitioning into a different reality of people. We're not that anymore. We aren't a simple life people where it's just a campfire and you cook your fruit on the fire. We're a different people now.
Yeah, yeah, that's unfortunate, which perfectly segues right into Gigi here, who says something has to change before it gets better. And I don't see that happening, which I semi agree with you there, Gigi Guard. But that goes right into it, which, Freddie, you're already shaking your head. What is it? What's the event that could potentially put us back on the right track and
The Charlie Kirk assassination. Man, how many? It was so right. It was in a revival. And look, I like Charlie Kirk. I'm not a Charlie Kirk devotee, but I love Charlie. I used to watch him all the time. But the fact that young folks in this country turn to God instead of the streets with a torch and a pitchfork, man, I never dreamed that would. I mean, I honestly thought that the right wing crazies would light the town up too. But to see folks praying and having meetings, what a revival. We're at the point where, I mean, honestly, God's the only entity that can save us. And that was really refreshing to see that turn around like that. I hate Charlie had to die, and I hate the way he died, and I hate the division that it's ripping in this country. But the response to a lot of young people was surprised me, and lots of older people too. It just surprised me. It was refreshing, and it gave me hope again. It actually gave me hope again.
Yeah. Nick, let's go with you, buddy. What's the event?
What's the event? What?
Well, what is going to happen that turns us around? What do you think? What do we need?
Well, and I'm going to agree with half-ass because I think we're at that point. We're at that turning point. We just haven't just to go with the last question where we're not quite to the point of we're going to start getting better. We're still going to get a little bit worse, I think. But like the Charlie Kirk thing, that sucked. That sucked. He had such a bright future. He had. I can't guarantee that, but I'm pretty sure he was going to be president one day or vice president. But so that all got canceled because somebody didn't like. They couldn't take an argument. They couldn't debate something. And he just got taken out. That's disturbing because he was changing a lot of minds, but and it's something I'm not going to say. It happened, but it brought light. It brought a lot of light to the situation, and then now we have all this content that we can watch of him talking. He changed a lot of minds, and I think that's a movement that's being built on. And I'm glad we touched on Charlie tonight a little bit, and I think I don't know. Obviously we don't want to keep talking about it and talking about it, but I think something good is going to come from that somehow. But something good is going to come from that.
Yeah, hopefully. Which I like what you said about using your words. So V, you use your words. What's the event?
Truthfully, I can't say what I think the event will be, because we've already had so many things go on and happen that you think that the change would already be visible. you know, I just don't, I don't feel like, um, I really don't know because so many things have happened already and nothing has changed. I feel like things have gotten worse. So,
Yeah.
Can I add to my comment?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. What I want to say is going with half-assed. I am so proud of how like the public has handled this. Like the public has handled the Charlie Kirk thing. That nobody has asked anybody to lash out. Everybody's like, no, just don't do it. Just and I'm not even a God believing person, but they're like to say like, no, this is not a godly thing to do. This is what he believed in. Like we need to not react in anger. We need to progress. Let's progress from this. That's what I like. That's what I was saying that he he did. Like I hope something good comes from it. Something like that. That we're like we're actually doing better. Like we're doing better. Nobody asked to be lashed out in fear, like or not in anger. And
Yeah.
I feel like something good's gonna come from this.
Yeah. Well, I hope you're right on that. Let's ask the bone guy up here. Bonesy, what do you think?
What's the event that's going to turn things around?
Yeah. What do you think it is?
I don't think we've seen it yet. I don't know what it's going to be. I'm kind of concerned about this meeting on Tuesday. You know, the press have come out and just said, well, it's, you know, basically a pep talk from Hegseth, but I don't buy that for a second because they're not going to pull these guys out of active combat zones to fly them all over here for Hegseth to tell them they're doing a good job or whatever. I think that's all just crap. So something's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen to turn things around. I really don't know. It's going to have to be something that brings everybody together, you know, with maybe some patriotism. You know, it might be a false flag event, might be something like 9/11. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but I don't think it's happened yet.
yeah, I don't think it's happened yet either. And whatever it is that's going to happen, I don't want to be like a negative person or anything, but I think it's going to be something big and something major.
Yeah, I agree with
Yeah.
B. Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, which half ready, you're up. But before you answer that, there's a ton of people in the chat, and I don't know who prompted this, but
Me either.
a bunch of people are saying, "What did you drive over the weekend?" So,
Well, we were going down the gloom and doom thing a little too deep. And y'all have to know how happy I was Saturday morning. I told you I went to a car show, and my buddy has a 1978 Trans Am with a CB radio and Bandit on the door, T-top black, the Bandit. Only this one is not stock. It looks stock, but it's not stock. About a 750 horse Pontiac Trans Am I got to drive to the car show, and I haven't got over it yet. I'm still get a little giddy when I speak about it, and
Nothing wrong with that.
yeah,
I
I had
know it was a Pontiac, but I thought I said in chat that it was a Firebird.
well, Pontiac Trans Am is a Firebird, but yes,
Okay.
yeah, and this one, listen, this guy's man, we took a whole fleet over. We took over. He's got a 50 Ford that is just awesome. 37 Chevy truck we took over, but I got to see lots of hot rods, and I had such a good time. And again, at the end of the day, at the start of the day and at the end of the day, we took a moment and remembered where we were this day last year and noticed where we were this year and lifted it up and said, you know, thank you, not just to God, but to all of you people all over the United States. Look, we had folks from Canada down here helping us, and it amazing reaction from everyone in this country, but the folks in my community it was just I had such a good time Saturday morning, and so but we can go back to gloom and doom now.
Oh well, you got to answer. You got to answer the original question. What do you think the event is?
Well, again, I like the Charlie Kirk thing, but you know what? We have a 250th anniversary coming up in July of next year, and and the Marine Corps 250th birthday is November the 10th. So, we have some really great things to celebrate this year, and you know what? Whether you wear a blue jersey or a red jersey, or a green jersey or a purple jersey, you get to play in this game, right? You get to come in and play in this game, and you should be damn proud that you're part of this team. And I'm hoping that's what happens.
Yeah,
that's one of the problems I think people have here. People are not proud of being in America. They're not proud. They don't have any kind of patriotism at all.
I was just thinking the same thing. Mark was saying, everybody should be proud, but there's going to be protests when they come around for the anniversary and that. And that was going through my head too.
I promise you, they won't protest the 250th Marine Corps birthday. That would be a really freaking bad idea.
Well, let's hope not. So, and I sincerely love the let's get away from the doom and gloom for just a moment, and let's focus in right here because I wanted to do this one before we wrap up. Mervin and Press, what gives y'all hope these days? That's an excellent one for us to kind of finish out on. So let's start with V. What gives you hope?
Well, so I have to say that I've been through my own trouble, my own problems, really bad, deep problems in my past. And I know that things can get better. So it gives me hope knowing that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And even though things seem like they're going to only get worse, things will get better. And I have to tell myself that. So because I try not to be a negative person, because I've had so much negativity and negative things happen to me in my life. So, when you feel like it's the end of everything, the end of your life, or the end, like there's nothing left for you in the world, there is something left for you in the world.
Amen.
So, yeah.
Amen.
Yes, very good, very good. All right, Scully, you're up. What gives you hope?
Well, the like Mark was saying, the Charlie Kirk thing did bring a lot of people into the churches and that. We've even noticed it at my little church. We've had quite a few new people, showing up on Sundays and so that gives me a little hope because, most people that go to church and get involved in their faith and that don't go out and shoot up schools and churches and other things. So, I think that's part of the problem is, we've gotten away from God in our country. And that's part of the reason why people are doing all these crazy things. So the uptick in the church attendance all over the country, not just here, that gives me a little hope, that maybe we can get enough people involved and kind of get their, head screwed on straight and maybe things will get a little bit better in the future. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. All right, Half Ready, what gives you hope?
You do, son. You and that lady about 20 feet across the hall from me give me hope. I was down and out at one point this year. I was looking at the end of my life, and y'all give me hope for the future. Men like you, son, the men you work with, the men you surround yourself with, y'all give me hope. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Nope, that's well done. Well done. Nick, your last, what gives you hope?
like I said, so what gives me hope is that, and like I just said this earlier, that I don't think the bad, like the serious bad things are done yet. I think we still have a little bit more of that, and I think that now, like once we get to that cusp, we're good. I think we're good, and people are going to start acting better and start acting more morally correct. Um, so that gives me hope, knowing that I think we're almost there. I know you want to, a lot of people want to say that we no, it's going to get better now. No, I think we're still battling these things, like National Guard coming in, um, the church shootings that keep going on, and that for some reason Michigan, I don't know why, but uh, I think that we're coming to a point where it's going to start turning around. I think there's going to be a couple more, but I think we're going to start turning around, and we're going to start heading in the right direction.
Yeah.
And that,
Yeah. Well said. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that we are still on the path. I agree with Nick that we are coming to a crossroads, and as a nation, we need to either decide if we're going left and go the good times, or if we're going right and go over the cliff. So we'll see, and just we keep hope alive and all that, because I've got a 6-year-old that's probably just getting ready for bed, and there's my hope. So, but we are at the end of everything, so we'll go around this way, and we'll do our final thoughts. And Nick and V, when we come to you, if you want to share case on where people can find you and all that sort of stuff. But we're going to start with Half Ready. What's your final thoughts for today?
Tell the ones you love that you love them. I say that every time, and that's so true. But you know, take a minute and familiarize yourself with your community and the folks in your community. They're good people in your community, folks. You're not on an island, okay? We seem to talk about this a lot too on this show, but you're not on an island, and you're not alone. And the proof is in the pudding. How many people tune into these prepper channels now? We all have 4, 5, 6, 7,000 viewers and subscribers. They show up, right? They're curious as to what we're doing, maybe because they're probably doing it themselves. So you're not on an island, and you're not alone, and talk to somebody if you feel like you are. And there you go.
Well done. Well done. All right, we'll go to the Bonehead next. You're up.
Yeah, you definitely want to make sure you keep your family, close to you, and stay alert at all times. I mean, unfortunately, like I said, the days of going out in public and having a good time are kind of on hold right now. And keep prepping. Prep the right things, and you don't want to end up looking like me. Prep for your animals, or you end up having a dog like me. So just keep doing the things. I mean, and keep an eye on Show Intel's channel too. She does a lot of up to the minute things that you're not going to see on the mainstream media until maybe a day or two later. By then it's too late. So keep your eyes open and your ears open, and just stay safe, everybody.
Well said. All right, Nick, let's go to you, man. What's your final thoughts for the evening?
my final thoughts would be, so I liked all the topics that we touched on tonight. We talked about mental health. We talked about gun violence. We talked about whether you should carry. We talked about a lot of things tonight, and I think we covered a lot of bases. Not all the bases, but I think we covered a lot of things tonight. And I think this was good for everybody if they want to listen. I think this was a good show tonight. And I hope I mean, I hope things start getting better. They have to get better at some point. But again, I think that we're almost there. We're almost to that point where we're going to start getting better, and people are going to start acting normal again. So I hope it happens. I hope I'm right, and I hope everything starts getting better.
Yeah, I think we all share that hope, which brings us to you, V. what is where can everybody find you, and what's your final thoughts?
Well, I shared my link in the chat, but I think everyone needs to remember that no matter how hard we have, how hard we think we have it, there's always someone who has it worse than we do.
Ooh, amen.
And yeah, and
Yeah.
I think that people need to try to remember that and be available. If you have a person in your community who you feel like is struggling um, with anything, just if you're able to offer some kind words. Sometimes kind words are all that someone needs, you know, and to know that, hey, someone is paying attention. Someone can see, you know, if I'm happy or if I'm sad or if I'm angry, someone is actually paying attention. So uh, I always tell myself that there's someone who has it worse than I do. My life is really not as bad as what I think it is. So
Yeah, yeah, very true, very very true on all that. All right, so I'm going to put out my final thought, which actually goes to this right here of LMDMT saying, "Birthday is Wednesday." Often it's early birthday to you. And for that, I also have my novel turn on things that I
Audio.
but that would be to make sure that you realize that early birthday life is not a big deal. So do what you can to support what things you can do to make sure that in life you regret is definitely a very bad thing. So, what do you guys think? Think we're good?
Yep.
I think we're going to be great.
Think we're going to be great?
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, then I think that for this one, I think we can go through and maybe end this one. See, this is where technical glitches come in because all of a sudden
If
my
you want to
little,
go another hour, we can do this.
my little stop live just completely disappeared. So let's see if I click on it
I
anyway.
guess-
If it happens.
I guess
So,
we got to go on then. The
So
show
we'll
must
see.
go on.
Yeah, carry on. Carry
I'm
on.
going to click the button and we'll see what happens. If we go away, everybody have a safe and blessed night. If nothing happens, then I'm going to click here very weirdly for a minute. So let's see what happens. And
I think we're still here.
yep, we are.
I mean, we have the option to leave
So
studio.
while we're still here, can I say so?
Please.
Show and tell. Like you should definitely go to Show and Tell and subscribe there. And so what we do there is we do so we track world politics. We do plane tracking. We do EAMs, which is emergency action messages. So those are always live on the stream, which does so like kind of gauges what the military is doing, like depending on how active they are, like, and then you start character counts and stuff like that. Those are different movements, and
We have a bot
that's
that you
all
can
tracked
play
on the channel.
games with. We're still working on the bot to do some commands.
The bot. So, oh yeah, that's what I forgot with the bot. So the bot, and so anybody that wants to come into the channel can come in there, and we'll create you a channel link
Mhm.
created by the bot. You come in there, chat a little bit, and we'll make you a command so that you can get a shout out for your channel in the live chat. And it's a 24-hour live stream, so
Most of
kind
the
of works out. Yeah, unless you're sleeping and the stuff gets shut down and your technical difficulties, we got it.
Yes, that's usually what it is technical difficulties seem to.
Yeah, like you can't shut this stream down, so you got to let me talk.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a Mad Shad stream. We'll be on here at about 7 in the morning. We're all have to go to work, but
There we go.
A debate.
It finally came up, so now I can actually end the stream. So thank you everybody for coming. You guys are awesome and amazing. And with that, I hope you guys have.
That is real. Gnostic,
Good night,
you did are
everyone.
awesome.